Hello there, chime users and Fintech users. Today's video it's gonna be about pending transactions. Okay, so what is a pending transaction? I imagine everyone who uses a card has seen that on your app. This can be usually seen on your app. When you made a transaction, you will see that it's in a pending state. Or maybe if you see a transaction you don't recognize and you call chime, you call another fintech, they'll tell you the transaction is still pending. So what does that means? To make a brief explanation, let's say that the pending, which will be this box, it's like a limbo state. When you made a transaction, any type of transaction except transfers, the money is actually taken out of your personal account. Okay, then it's going to this limbo state. So what happened in this limbo state? In this limbo state, the merchant has the right either to take these funds or refuses to take it. Okay, that's what happens in the pending state. Now let's go over here, and here we have two possibilities for a pending transaction. The first one is that transaction settles. That means the merchant already took the money. Okay, from this pending state, from this limbo state, the merchant decided that the transaction was made accordingly and they will take this money for them. Okay, money that came out originally from your personal account. The other possibility is that the transaction releases. Now, if the transaction releases, that means that the merchant refused to take the money, and then it will be back to your account, to the account holder or the credit card. Okay, so in case they decide this money, they're not gonna take it, it will be back to your personal account. Okay, and why I'm saying you this? Because usually when someone has trouble with a transaction, they call immediately to report it. I mean, that's good if it's an unauthorized transaction, but in any other case, you will have to wait until this transaction settles. All right, because if it releases, then I mean there's no point in making a dispute, in making a claim. Okay, in order to make a claim, you have to wait until this transaction settles. Once the transaction is settled, then you can call your bank, you can call Chime, you can call whatever your financial institution is, and make a claim about this transaction for the reasons. The reason is covered by Regulation E or not Regulation E or Regulation C, whatever of that. But only until this transaction settles. That means that you will have to call again to make the claim. Okay, because if you call to make the claim when the transaction is still pending, if the transaction is still pending, you're gonna get nothing. Okay, the claim will not go through. You'll have to call again until this transaction settles. And how much time could that take? It can take up to 5 business days. Yes, it could take less time, but I mean that's the deadline for the bank. So if the transaction usually takes 2 business days to settle, because that's the time it will take for an average, but sometimes it doesn't. You'll have to wait the full 5 business days. So take that in mind when you're using debit or credit cards. Okay, you always have that risk. Having said that, after those 5 business days, you can call in this case Chime or whatever, and you can file this claim. All right, and all of this applies for the debit. Okay, in debit card, Chime debit card. For the credit builder card, if you have any credit, for the credit builder card, it basically applies the same thing. Okay, the transaction can take up to 5 business days to settle or release, but there's a difference. You don't have to call again. You can file the dispute right in the moment. Okay, that's kind of one benefit of the credit builder card. But, okay, attention on here, investigation will begin only if transaction settles. Okay, that means if the transaction is still impending, investigation won't go through because of what I told you earlier. We have the possibility that the transaction releases. Okay, it's sometimes is very rare that this happens, but it can happen. So that's why in this limbo state, the financial institution cannot do anything. In the pending state, they cannot do anything, so you'll have to wait until the merchant decides. All right, and after it settles, well, investigation will begin. Yeah, that's like I told you, the only benefit is that in the credit builder card on Chime, you don't have to call them again. Okay, that's the only difference. And the debit, you'll have to call again. And the credit builder, you don't have to. All right. Now, taking in mind that a pending transaction cannot be reversed. Okay, I just told you what a pending transaction is, but no, a pending transaction cannot be reversed if you call your bank. You'll have to wait until it settles. After it settles, you file a claim, and then investigation will begin. But never, ever, ever think that a pending transaction can be reversed. Okay, that cannot be done. That's not possible. All right, so that will be everything for today's video. Thank you very much for watching it, and see you next